Hi, everybody. Welcome to part two of our series on the structure of presence. Um, Christina and I have been working on this more than we care to admit.
Mark's been working around the clock, actually.
Just trying to get it right and get it digestible. In
Yeah.
part in part one, we talked about the field of presence and why it matters. And
hmm
that got a little dense. But in part two, we're going to go back to the idea of the field and show how presence shapes reality. And I think my takeaway from this is that what we're presenting about presence is very different than what most people talk about when they talk about presence. It's some presence is something you have to find. You have to inhabit.
Is
And
like what like the gut kind of reaction is generally, right? That's what
yeah,
you're
I mean,
saying.
you have to go meditate and be mindful and scoop away everything that's about the past and the future, and it's this whole mental thing of trying to bring yourself present.
hmm
And in this model, I think it gives you a lot clearer instructions as to what you need to do because presence is already inside of you.
hmm And I like that you have a clear definition for what presence is.
Right, and you're gonna hear what that is today.
hmm
So
Well, we invite you to soar with us. Mark and I are dedicated to making these episodes for you so that we can explore awakening and enlightenment and mysterious mysteries of our spiritual experiences.
I
Is that fair?
I must say that if you're listening to this, this has been a journey for Christina and myself.
hmm
I mean, I'm a different person than I was when we started this, just because of, the depth to which this has demanded that I go.
hmm
And I know, Christina, you're always talking about new insights and things that are going on with you.
So true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think the information that, you know, we've learned together while doing this podcast together and the information that you had learned before and had brought to me, it's just been such a great way to realize there were parts of me that were always there that I didn't know how to tend to or how to connect with,
Wow.
you know? And so that's one of the reasons I love doing this show with you is I want our listeners to also have that experience. I want more people to have what you had, what I had.
Great. That's exactly why we're doing it. We're trying to give you something we've been given and pass it along.
hmm
All
Let's do
right.
it.
So now I'm going to define presence here, and we're going to define this as we go along too. Presence is when the field, and we're going to define the field more here in a minute, when the field perceives itself through you without interference. Now, the field is the invisible fabric of awareness within which everything arises. Okay, so let's consider this for a second. Why would the field want to perceive itself? Because the field is nothing but awareness. It's completely undifferentiated. The field,
hmm
the field of awareness has awareness and intelligence, but no features. There's no way to describe it. You can't measure it. It's this undifferentiated field that has one characteristic we seem to know for sure, and that is it wants to experience itself.
hmm And
And
it's
so
watching.
it's so what it's doing is it's creating the conditions so it can experience itself
Yeah.
through us.
Right. Well, but I'm thinking of like the dual slit experiment too, and how energy acts different when there was a measurement device in the room. I just think it's also it's watching us too.
So, well, what it's doing is it's collapsing reality to have an experience, and
Yeah.
the thing we call us is part of that, those collapsing wave energies.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this
How we experience ourselves.
we, yeah, we experience ourselves as individuals, but that's another rabbit hole we went down, and I'll link that series of videos on quantum mechanics in the present moment we did about 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get back to the field. So here is some other names that the field goes by: the Tao, pure awareness, Brahman, quantum field, the Great Spirit, the unified field, the zero point field, the morphic field. Depends on which author you're talking about. The absolute, the universe, the source, and God. And so I want to go to an example here of a mirror. And so here we have a mirror, and there's a man, an older man, looking in the mirror, seeing himself. This really represents what the universe is all about. But we are the mirror. Presence is the moment when your harmonics of awareness, and we're going to talk about what those are, line up so the field can reflect clearly through you.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Genesis, it talks about that God created us in his image and likeness. And so what that implies is that God or the universe or consciousness wants to look in a mirror and see and have an experience of itself. But there's a problem with this, and let me show you what the problem is. There is nothing you can measure that's looking in the mirror. But the pattern of what's supposed to be reflected in the mirror, which is us, the pattern is the field. So when the pattern looks in the mirror called Christina, the field sees Christina. When the field looks in the mirror called Mark, the field sees Mark. But as long as our awareness is not distorted. So
Okay.
if the awareness is distorted, it's static, it's smudged, the mirror is dirty, then it's distorted. Presence is when there's clear resonance and a clean reflection.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, our job is to be that clear reflection. That we can't be the reflection of what the field wants to see through us if there are distortions.
Mm-hmm.
How am I doing so far? Is this
Yeah, well, like I'm thinking of like House of Mirrors too, and just like yeah, there's so many different ways to be distorted, and yeah, I don't know, it's kind of fun to play with that image. Like even just bending the mirror can change things, like having lots of pressure on you
well? It's
could
like a house of
bend
mirrors
your
with bends in the
bend your
mirrors, and you get a
frequency.
very distorted reflection, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And it really does make sense too, and it makes sense too that it could have to do with I guess frequencies
Right.
that there's something about that that seems to be so healing for us creatures, I guess. But maybe more,
Hold that
Yeah,
thought
who's
because
to
we're going to talk about frequencies a little later, and I think you're more of an expert on that than I am. So bring that up
mm-hmm.
again. But let's move from the mirror metaphor to the radio metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you think about a radio, you're tuning across the dial, trying to find the station. And if we're doing our job, we are the tuner.
Mm-hmm.
And the field or consciousness is turning the dial, trying to find the station it wants to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But if the tuner is not an accurate representation of what the field wants to listen to, then, consciousness here is static,
Mm-hmm.
which is
So you're saying
distorted.
like we're the tuner, but I'm not sure you're going to cover like the tuner for what? Like where is this frequency coming from?
It's the same idea as this right here. So where is the reflection in the mirror coming from?
Where you're asking me to answer where is the reflection
Yeah,
from the mirror
yeah. As
coming
you look
from?
at that picture, where is the reflection in the mirror coming from?
I don't know how to answer this question right now.
All right. Well, when you stand in front of a mirror and you see yourself,
Yeah,
where's the reflection coming from?
from me,
Exactly. So in this picture, where's the reflection of the man coming from?
from him.
Exactly. So the question is, who is he? He is the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And the universe has a concept of what it wants to see in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't see clearly what that is if the mirror is all distorted.
Okay.
So in this analogy, oops, you and I are the mirror, and so in this case, he's able to see a very clear reflection of himself.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
Right, I understand it's a little, woo woo.
But it makes sense. Okay, so we're the mirror the universe is looking at and through and into,
Right,
and it sees itself
that's right.
in us.
Right,
And better and more purely if we don't have distortions.
exactly. And if we're not distorted and we're that clear mirror, then the universe sees itself and we experience the presence of that.
Okay. And the things that distort us would be like trauma, stress,
We're
like
going we're going to get to that.
having needs. Okay.
Yeah, you're exactly where you see exactly where we're going. Excellent. So
Mm-hmm.
another example of that is, instead of being a mirror, we're the tuner in a radio, and the universe is moving the dial, trying to find the radio station that it wants to hear.
Right.
And if it can't get a clear signal, what is it? It can't hear what it wants to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And so our job as the tuner is to be as pure as possible to give a strong signal so when the universe tunes to its favorite station, it can hear it.
Mm. So do you think that's like why sound therapy works?
I think it's why a lot of things work. If you take this metaphor and you extend it to lots of different things, it's why body work. It's how everything works.
Yeah. I guess it's just less of a jump or a leap now to like think about people hitting tuning forks and putting it on certain spots on you to kind of like shake up your distortions.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you've just put your finger on the whole purpose behind this episode. The purpose behind the episode is to have people understand that this enormous experience of presence is available to them, and what is
Mm-hmm.
preventing them from experiencing that are these distortions that occur. And so the distortions is where they need to focus, not on presence.
Mm-hmm.
The presence is ready to flow,
Right.
but if we're filled with baggage, it can't flow.
So true. And I'll say this too, like I just have done some hypnotherapy and since then I've like had an even clearer head than normal. And I realized that like part of what was happening was I was like still stuffing down little certain parts of old stories,
Okay.
kind of a thing. And when those parts bubbled up and I had to face them and experience them without freaking out about them, hopefully
Mm-hmm.
was the goal. That afterwards, I had clearer executive functioning and waking up more pleasant feeling and things like that because I didn't even realize I was still carrying a load from
Exactly.
that other stuff.
And so to me, when I hear you say that, what I'm hearing is the importance of doing the personal work that we all need to do.
100%. Yeah, because my mind's clearer now. I'm not like
Right.
thinking of the same old stories. I'm just ready to be here.
So let's
So,
take another example.
yeah.
How about if we were a choir? So what the universe is trying to do is get us to sing, spectacular and angelic tune.
Hmm.
But if certain members of the choir are singing off key, sharp or flat, then the universe can't hear the song that it wants to hear.
Hmm.
But we individually are the choir. Our levels of awareness are the different voices of that choir. Okay? Maybe I'm belaboring this, but I wanted to give everybody an understanding of kind of where we're coming from here. Here's another one. Hold that thought. I'll do this and then tell me what you're thinking.
Sure.
It's like we're a camera lens and the universe is trying to focus the camera to get just that perfect shot. And when it does, everything lines up and everything's clear and focused,
Hmm.
and then that's presence. It flows through the camera lens. So go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, so I've heard you use the word the universe wants, or like the phrase the universe wants a couple times. So, like, what do you think happens when it doesn't get that?
Tries again.
I see.
It tries
It just
again.
makes an adjustment. It,
Right.
right. It's like evaluating itself and collapses and makes a new reality.
That's exactly right. And if you go out back
Okay.
to part one, that's pretty much the discussion we had.
Yeah.
What the field is doing is the field is creating something, and then it recursively analyzes what it's created and then recreates. And this is what we experience as, kind of time marching on or progress.
Hmm.
So it's like a baby. A baby
Hmm.
doesn't know how to walk, it has to learn to walk.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the baby, but in the process of taking a baby from the seed to the full grown human, the
Hmm.
adjustments have to be made. And this is the field trying again and trying again until it gets it right.
I see.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. I guess well, I have infinite curiosity and questions. So,
Well, that's what we're here for.
okay. Well, I mean, I guess I was just wondering, like, how do you know? How do you know it just tries it? Like, because that's just what you see from the science?
That's what I see from the science in this model, but it's also what I see in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been married 3 times. You've married the same kind of person 3 times. At some point, you're going to have a chance to get it right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is the field recreates the circumstances over and over again, hoping to see an outcome it wants to see. And our experience of that is we keep revisiting the same set of circumstances and the same characteristics and the same emotional responses in the hopes that at some point we'll look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, something's wrong here, and I think I know where the problem is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And sometimes you wish you had a second chance and you just get it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here's our last analogy. Our last analogy is a guitar. Now, ironically, a guitar has 6 strings, and today we're going to talk about 6 levels of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And here are the 6 strings, and I'm not sure I got this right. So those of you out there who play the guitar and are very familiar with this, please don't judge me.
I just think 3 and 4 are switched. That's from my memory.
Okay, maybe
I think
maybe
you got
that's
it mostly right.
so. In order for the guitar to function properly, the strings, all the strings have to be tuned properly. And so God or the universe or the field can strum the chord and hear this magnificent sound. Do we need to hear it again? There it is
It is
again.
beautiful.
It is.
Love a good guitar instrumental.
All right, so now let's move on from strings to awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So part of what we're presenting here are that there are harmonics of awareness and what is meant by the harmonic structure of awareness. So let's take a look at that. And there are 6 of them, just like there are 6 strings in a guitar. So the first level of awareness, now remember, the field is completely undifferentiated. So the field is pure awareness, but there's nothing to be aware of. And so the first thing the field has to do is create another.
Mm.
It's almost like in Genesis where there's nothing but darkness, there's a void, and then God creates light.
Mm-hmm.
And so now there's a distinction between the nothingness and the light. So there's an other.
Mm-hmm.
Then as soon as the other is created, then we have the opportunity to become aware that there is a self. So there's an other and a self. So when I talk to you, I'm aware that you're there. And as soon as I'm aware that you're there, the next level of awareness is, oh, wait a minute, I must be here too.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a me here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third level of awareness is awareness of thought. So I'm aware of you and I'm aware of myself, and I'm also aware that I'm having thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And the next level of awareness is awareness of awareness. And now we're getting into, and these are harmonics. So a harmonic is an integer multiple of the fundamental. Well, what's the fundamental? The fundamental is the first harmonic, which is the awareness of other. So
And
the
so,
awareness,
like,
go ahead.
do we have a frequency for this or no?
No, but a good way of thinking about it is this is happening trillions of times a second.
Right.
But from the field's point of view, there is no time, so it's a little difficult to
Right.
describe it that way.
Right.
So this creation and recursion and recreation is happening trillions of times a second, and we experience it maybe a few milliseconds at a time
Mm-hmm.
because we're much slower than the changes in the field.
Right.
So in terms of harmonics, the first harmonic is called the fundamental. So the fundamental harmonic of awareness is an awareness that there's something else, another.
Mm-hmm.
Now in harmonic mathematics, the second harmonic is twice the first harmonic. In other words, the frequency, you mentioned frequency before.
Right.
It's the second harmonic is double the first harmonic and 1/2 of the amplitude of the first.
Right.
The
I
third
think you have a great picture to show this later, or you could pull it up. Yeah,
There it
yeah.
is.
Yeah, maybe as you explain it, you could keep that up.
So the first harmonic is awareness of other, and then you notice that the second harmonic, awareness of self, repeats twice as often or twice as
Right,
fast
right.
as the first, and so on and so forth. One
Mm-hmm.
thing this chart doesn't show is that each succeeding harmonic has an amplitude according to the number of the harmonic. For instance, that the third harmonic would be a third of the amplitude of the first harmonic.
Right. It would go up and down a third as much, right?
Yeah, and now why is this important? It's important because as you go up in harmonic awareness, it becomes more refined
Mm-hmm.
and more subtle. And so, if you go research this on the internet, you hear all these people talking about moving to a higher frequency. Okay. Well, in this model, where the higher frequency is a higher level of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Did that get to your comment about frequency?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I'm just thinking too, like it's just interesting that it matches up with chakras as well.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm the looking at the last two, which was source and yeah, field and source. I'm just wondering if like awareness as source would probably be crown chakra. Awareness as field though, I don't know. I don't know how to place that one. But
So
anyway,
so awareness as field is the awareness that everything is coming from the field. In other words, you're part of the field and I'm part of the. There are nothing separate from the field.
sure.
I'm sorry, the last one should not say third, it should say sixth.
Oh yeah, you're
This,
right.
the sixth harmonic is awareness as source. And so once you realize that everything's coming from the field, you also realize that the field is the source of everything. Everything is arising from consciousness. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to get into this a little more, make this a little more accessible here. So let's take another look at the structure of these levels of awareness. So the first level basically is I see you, because there is another.
Mm-hmm.
The second level is self, I see me. The third level is thought, I see thinking. The fourth level of awareness is that I see I am seeing. The fifth level is the awareness of the field. I see we are connected by the field.
Mm-hmm.
And the sixth is the field as source. I see the stillness from which seeing arises. I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to look at this a little differently here in a second. So, oops, we lost her. Where'd she go?
Oh no, it's a
Let's get
distortion.
let's get her back in here.
uh,
Okay, so distortion in the mirror or in the radio tuner happens when survival conditioning, unprocessed emotions, you were talking about this earlier,
yeah.
or false identifications bend the mirror of our awareness. Now, if you've ever
Mm-hmm.
been in one of those funny houses at the fair and they have a
Mm-hmm.
bended mirror, then the reflection's all distorted and funny and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at these potential distortions and just see where they take us. So let's say there is a distortion in the awareness of other. What would that be? You said this earlier, Christina. Trauma in relationships, unmet need for safety, Distortions show up as projection, blame, or distrust.
So if you're seeing someone project, blame, or be distrusting, then that means they are having an issue on that first harmonic level.
Exactly. That's exactly
Okay.
right. Now,
Okay.
let's go back to this. Let's go look at number 2, awareness of self. If there is a distortion in that awareness, that's from early wounding around worth or identity. Distortion shows up as defensive self-image, shame, or rigid ego masks. Now, I just want to point something out about this. Go ahead. You were going to
Okay.
say something.
Do you mean does rigid ego masks mean like a personality that you mask up with that comes from your ego? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'd say somebody who just, is totally inflexible. If you say something they don't
Okay.
like, they cut you off and they never talk to you again.
Hmm.
Lots of things might kind of. Another one might be some religious things might fit in there.
Ah.
You know, I heard a great teacher, Leonard Jacobson, say once that if the ego becomes spiritualized, the person is lost.
Mm-hmm.
So now I
Mm-hmm.
want to point something out about this, and you and I were talking about it before we started recording. Notice in the first one, there are two key words, safety and distrust.
Mm-hmm.
And in the second one, the word shame is there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think back to some earlier recordings we did, in Eric Erickson's levels of development, the first level of development or stage of development is trust versus mistrust.
Mm-hmm.
And the second stage of development is autonomy versus shame and doubt. And you and I had linked this up to the lion unicorn model of relationships.
Right.
So you can see right here that awareness of other distortions, that is a unicorn problem.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Distortions in awareness of self come from early wounding, shows up as shame and defensiveness. That is a lion problem. So right away
Totally.
we've got a roadmap now to attack these first two levels of awareness. So if you understand the lion unicorn model of relationships, you can go right into your own background and find out where your baggage comes from
Mm-hmm.
related to these two levels of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I will try to link a really good episode we did on the lion unicorn model so people can understand what that is and why that's relates to those two things right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did that
Yeah.
make sense? It just
Yeah.
jumped out at me like crazy when I saw it. I thought, oh my God, this relates. I mean, you're looking at something that's seemingly all this esoteric stuff and everything and the levels of awareness. Okay, what's that? Maybe I need to go hook up to a hookah pipe for a while and contemplate it. No, it's very rooted in psychology and emotional development, and boom, it's right there.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
So
so
cool.
here's the third level of awareness of thought. Cause of distortion in awareness of thought would be misidentification with thinking. In other words, I am my thoughts. Identification with the voice in your head. And this shows up
Mm-hmm.
as obsessive loops, overthinking, or mental rigidity. And I would say mental rigidity means lack of perspective,
Mm-hmm.
not being able to see anything from anybody's point of view but your own because you're listening to the voice in your head.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because I've heard that said about trauma, which is also you committing to your story,
Mm.
right?
I like the way
At
you said
least
that
sometime. Mm-hmm.
because I really think number 3 has everything to do with your story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, these are not horribly important to understand right now, but the main point is that these level of awarenesses are attached to and explain psychological emotional problems that people come to therapy with every single day.
Mm-hmm.
This is not some bizarre airy-fairy stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is very important. Awareness as the field. So when you become aware and as the you are nothing but the field, their potential distortion is escaping upward into abstraction to avoid pain. Now, my interpretation of this is there are a lot of people that escape into spiritual practice, and the whole purpose of the spiritual practice is to avoid pain.
Mm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
avoidant, they want to get away. Okay.
Okay, and that's still a distortion because the pain's there.
Well, their motive is wrong. Their motive for spiritual practice is to get away from the pain.
Right.
Not to go deeper, but to get away.
Right.
I mean, I once spent a weekend with some monks, and I looked around and I could see immediately why they were monks.
You're all unicorns.
They were all unicorns. They were all trying to get away.
Yeah.
It's,
What'd they do exactly that tipped you off?
it was the only explanation for you know why they would select such a lifestyle.
Mm.
But I don't let me impugn their motives. That's there's a lot of people. We talked about many gurus who've gone to the East for years and years, and yeah, they're obviously looking for enlightenment, but they needed to get away too to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's some mixed motives there, maybe sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right, let's skip to the next thing here. Oh, by the way, number 6, um, awareness as source. The cause of distortion is often fear of nothingness, and the distortion shows up as nihilism, which means, okay, if there's nothing there, then I can do whatever I want, or existential dread. And I think what this means is the ego is afraid that it's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, we've covered how the universe is trying to experience itself through us as a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is distorted, we won't experience presence.
Yeah. It won't ring through us.
And we've listed some things, and there are more, but some basic things that cause these distortions so we don't experience presence. And the theme being that if you really want to be available for presence, you need to handle your issues.
Mm-hmm.
You have to turn into them and start going deeper and asking questions.
Yeah.
And without that healing, I'm not sure it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Right.
we have developed an exercise. We call it moment mindfulness, and this is an amazing diagram Christina put together. And this is an example of what we're going to be talking about in part 3. So, moment mindfulness takes care of the distortions in the level 3 harmonic of awareness, which is
Mm-hmm.
awareness of thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, Christina, but I think it also opens the door to level 1 and level 2 because you can see what's going on there.
I think you're right. It kind of breaks some of your hallucinations and allows you to see with more, you know, truthfulness, less bias.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's look forward to next time. And next time will be
Mm-hmm.
part 3, becoming the pattern, living the structure of presence, alignment with your harmonic design. So we have a harmonic design, and when we align with that design, presence is expressed through us.
Mm.
So we've tuned the guitar string by string and heard how distortion throws us out of resonance. Now the question is, what happens when we actually play the instrument? In part 3, it's going to be about living the song of presence, not theory, but practice, not concept, but expression. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you this exercise plus a series of other exercises that have you get in touch with these levels of awareness so you can clear up the distortions that might be there.
So cool. So cool. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to go through the exercise next week. And I would encourage everyone watching now, if you haven't started the moment mindfulness exercise, just rewind on the video and pause it and read through it and start practicing it. And then when you watch us next week, our recording next week, then you'll already have some practice. You'll have a week ahead on some people here.
And please,
I can't hear you, Mark.
I did that thing, didn't
You didn't happen last time. Oh
I?
well.
So I accidentally muted myself. Scan this QR code to reach out to us. We'll help you with anything you need. Also, there'll be an email address in the show notes. There will be a link to our online community, Thought Masters. Feel free to click that and learn about that. But we're here to help you navigate this in any way we can possibly. I know today was a little dense, maybe, and if you want to have a conversation about it, please
So
put a
cool.
comment.
Hmm.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Christina?
I think it's awesome, and I wish that I hope we can find some time a way to totally nerd out about harmonics like we got to do together. But I don't know. I think you've done a really good job presenting it.
Really, it's been difficult to unwind it to the point where it made any sense to anybody who wanted to pay attention. So,
Yeah, it is hard. It's hard to totally figure out, but also at the same time, harmonics seems to like rapture a person. And so just even thinking about that and studying it more has been thrilling for me, really.
well, that'll do it for today. And remember, mastering thought is the key to unlocking your potential.
Until next time, look deeper, live bolder.
All right, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
See ya.